Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about daring to dream big and maintaining the courage necessary to fight off the enemies who are coming to steal that dream and prevail and realize the fulfillment of your dream. Joseph, as a little boy, was known as a dreamer of dreams, and he did dream big. He had dreams that saw even his parents and his brothers paying homage to him. You would think that family would be thrilled that you dared to dream big, but his family tried to intervene. They were used by the enemy to attempt to steal his dreams, and they threw him in a pit. And then they thought better of it and said, let's not kill him, let's sell him into slavery. Thank you very much. You're going to sell me into slavery. Thank you. And they did. They sold him to Egypt. And he became a slave in Potiphar's house. And there he was again tempted and again had to fight off the dream stealers that came to kill his dream. You don't know the story. Potiphar's wife laid a trap for him, and he remained true to his convictions, which angered her, and she had him thrown into prison. Right when he thought he had hit the very bottom at becoming a slave, he found out there was still room to fall, and he found himself in Pharaoh's prison. In prison, he had opportunity to minister to a couple men who were in precarious situations themselves. He prophesied to both of them. To one, he prophesied he would live and serve Pharaoh again. To the other, he prophesied that in 3 days he would die. And it came true, just as he prophesied. The one died, the other lived. And he told the one who lived, be sure and mention me to Pharaoh, because I feel like the Lord would have me say something to him. Unfortunately, the butler forgot all about Joseph, but remembered at the appointed time. When Pharaoh dreamed a dream, he remembered a man who had interpreted his dreams and the dreams of his fellow prisoner. And he told Pharaoh of him, and he sent for him, and Joseph was summoned to interpret the dream of Pharaoh. And he did so, and he interpreted accurately, and he convinced Pharaoh so of the accuracy of his interpretation that he thought there was nobody better than Joseph to manage the situation that the dream called for. You know, you never know when what you think is destined to be your downfall becomes your step up. And that's why you can't give up on your dream. You can't ever give up on your dream. If you're going to be faithful unto the end, you're going to go through some battles. You're going to go through some temptations, through some tribulations. You're going to have enemies that appear in your camp attempting to steal your dream. But if the God who gave you that dream is faithful, then he will cause it to come to pass, and you can put your trust, your faith, and your confidence in God. Are there times that you really don't have confidence in yourself? Those are the very times that you need to put your trust in God, because God is not a man, and God cannot fail. God will not fail. God will not fail you. So hold fast to that dream. When the enemy comes to steal the dream, understand that he may have knocked you down, but he didn't knock you out. Evander Holyfield was once the champion of the heavyweight boxing crown, the world champion. It was a title and a trophy that few men had ever obtained, but he did. And then he lost. And the newscasters came to him and asked, how does it feel to be at the very top of your vocation and then lose it all? And he thought for just a moment, and he looked into the camera, and he said, a setback is nothing but an opportunity for a comeback. You must set yourself in that same attitude, that there will be setbacks. Prepare yourself for setbacks, but setbacks are nothing but an opportunity for a comeback. Because if you have tasted the top, you can summon the courage to rise to the top again and achieve the dream that you have tasted and that you have dreamed of constantly. Maybe you haven't tasted of it yet, but you've dreamed of it, and it's almost as real as if you had tasted it. And I know as a boy, I had dreams, and I saw myself in my dreams ministering, preaching to large crowds of people. And I wondered how that would ever come through. We were from a poor family. We didn't have the wherewithal to achieve that sort of status. How can that come true? But it has come true. I've traveled the world, and I've seen the glory of God in full manifestation, and I've watched as my dream has come true, and I truly do believe that yours will too. I can remember reading of great evangelists, and the great evangelist that I read after had won hundreds of thousands of people to the Lord. There were only a couple of men in all of history who could even boast of having won 1 million people to the Lord. And then Billy Graham rose on the scene, and he is known as a fabulous minister, a man of God, a man of integrity, a man who has stayed the course, who fought the good fight and finished his course and finished it well. And the reputation of Billy Graham is that he won somewhere between 4 and 5 million people to the Lord. 4 or 5 million people walked down that dusty trail aisle and received Jesus as Savior and Lord. And you may wonder, could anybody eclipse that? Could anybody ever do that again? And yet, just a few years later, there is a man who has lived and now gone on to claim his eternal reward, who has done far more. Reinhard Bonnke recently went to heaven, and he went to heaven with this testimony, that he had seen more than 90 million people accept Jesus as Savior and Lord of their life. Wow, what a feat. Is it possible that anybody can ever achieve more than that? Well, if somebody can dream big, then somebody can realize that big dream. Just a few years ago, you would have thought that nobody could have eclipsed Billy Graham, but Reinhard Bonnke did. And somebody will eclipse that goal. Because you see, here is a truth. There are more people, sinners, more people who do not know Jesus today than there were living on earth who did not know Jesus the day that Reinhard Bonnke was born. There's opportunity. There is occasion. It's time for the glory of God to rise up in somebody. Why not you? Why not somebody that you know? Why not somebody that you love? Raise up to be the next great evangelist that will tell the world of the love of God and reach the world for the cause of Christ. Dare to dream big. Never lose your courage to overcome the forces who come to steal that dream. Realize it, and let's go to heaven together, rejoicing of the glory of our great God, who is still mighty and still uses men and women who are willing to be servants of the Most High. God bless you. We sure love you, and we want to see you in heaven.